percent of his total strikes unofficially. Oh! Get a Superman punch. Hard to keep track. Big knees to the body now.
I mean, Pereira has him hurt, man. He is beating up Imadaev now.
Michel Pereira, known as the Brazilian Ninja, Pereira has gained a lot of attention for his unique style, which combines elements of capoeira. He has become one of the most famous fighters in the UFC and is sure to put on a show with his incredible skills. So, let's take a closer look at this extraordinary fighter and his remarkable style. Early life. Michel Pereira was born and raised in the small Brazilian town of Tacuma, to a family of farmers. From a young age, he had a strong will to support his family and was even able to ride a horse. At the age of 12, he began taking karate classes, and 4 years later, he started getting familiar with jiu-jitsu and soon earned his black belt. After experimenting with a few different techniques, Michel eventually fell in love with his true passion, capoeira. This Brazilian martial art combines elements of dance with various acrobatic maneuvers, which makes it all the more surprising that we don't see this type of complex movement in MMA very often. However, there is always an exception to the rule, and Michel Pereira is exactly that. The MMA career of Michel Pereira has certainly been an eventful one. In the first 3 years of his professional career, he managed to rack up an impressive record of 11 wins and 4 losses. At the age of 21, he joined XFC, and during that period, he won 2 very memorable fights. Michel also has a unique superstition. He carries around a toy which he believes to be his personal mascot and brings him luck. After establishing himself as a respected fighter in his native Brazil, he decided to try his luck abroad and ended up in the Republic of Chechnya. Here, he faced Abubakar Vakiev, who was 11-1 at that time. In the fight, Pereira was trying to keep the ground without letting his opponent gain an advantage at close range. Although Abubakar didn't fail to show off his grappling skills and had more punching power, this time around Pereira was unsuccessful. After that, he continued to travel with mixed success. Following his success in the welterweight Serbian Battle Championship, where he sent yet another one of his Serbian opponents to sleep in only 51 seconds, Michel Pereira received an invitation from a large South Korean promotion called Road FC. Here, he faced Jung Yang, who had won 4 out of 5 of his previous fights. During this fight, Pereira was able to show off his capoeira skills like never before, throwing Superman punches, doing Jenga dances, and displaying some truly unexpected acrobatics.
양혜준 선수의 전 경기 영상들 다 봤을 거예요.
네.
그래서 다 분석을 끝나고 경기가 했을 겁니다.
자킥 이후에 오히려 양혜준 선수가 케이지로 몰아봅니다. 바로 일어나는 페레이라. 화려한 스텝을 보여주고 있는데 플라이니 왼손 좌파컷.
Despite Yang's decent grappling skills, it was not until the 3rd round that the Demolidor really lived up to his moniker. With a result of 20-1, Pereira continues to travel around the world. Michel Pereira received an invitation from Serbia's SBC to fight for their middleweight title. Without thinking twice, he accepted the challenge and faced Duško Todorović. By the middle of the 1st round, Pereira had put Duško in trouble with a very accurate right hand, in response to which the Serbian pushed into the mat. Despite losing the Serbian championship, 2 weeks later Pereira was back in Korea for a fight with Choi Wang-jung at Road FC. Here he quickly sent Choi to the ground with a perfect big right and celebrated with a few backflips.
Really impressing. I mean,
wow.
he's got to be in line for a title shot soon. You get it.
India's got to fight a lot of strong guys.
Yeah.
Pereira, a lot of good, powerful guys in the middleweight.
Granted, Insu, we haven't seen him past the 10 second. We haven't seen him get in trouble. We've never seen him actually, showcase anything.
After 2 months, he returned to Korea to fight Kim Da-soon. Soon was unprepared for the fight and was mostly acting as a punching dummy. The class difference between the 2 fighters was clear, and Pereira kept on pressing forward and won the fight.
I mean, what was it? It took Pereira like what, a minute? Usually 2 minutes or so?
UFC career. The Railroad's backflips caught the attention of the UFC, and they offered Michel Pereira a contract. His debut took place in May 2019 with a fight against Danny Roberts. He used many of the capoeira techniques, surprising the crowd with his footwork and Superman punches. and finished the fight in the first round with a flying knee and a right hand, which earned him a bonus for the best performance of the evening.
Oh, victory, Michel Demolidor Pereira!
His next opponent was the former Rise of C champion Tristan Connolly. Connolly seemed to have been set to win the fight quickly, but Pereira started the fight in his usual manner.
Immediately a Superman punch off the fence.
Oh, my goodness. What in the world?
Although Connolly was unaffected by this, Pereira was struggling to find a decent move to show, and Connolly eventually took him down and won by decision. 5 months later, Pereira was up against the veteran Diego Sanchez from Albuquerque. At the start of the fight, it was clear who had more chance of winning. Michael was making Mexican running around the cage, while Sanchez was trying to pass some sort of exam with Pereira as his coach. Ultimately, it was Pereira's undisputed victory, even though his knee got him in trouble at some point. In September 2020, he fought Russian fighter Zhaoling Madama. Pereira showed that he came to do what he promised, placing one hit after another and getting on Madama's nerves. Eventually, he locked Madama in a choke and was rewarded with $50,000 for the best performance of the night. The progress is not passed unnoticed. On 19 December 2020, Pereira faced Cows Williams at UFC Fight Night 183. He proved his worth, and the two had an action-packed fight. Williams was not too hasty and was good at comebacks, but Pereira quickly adapted, taking advantage of his Capoeira moves. Despite Williams' attempts to fend him off, Pereira made a big statement in the final minutes and eventually won by decision. At UFC 264 in July 2021, Michael Pereira faced Nico Price. The American was hoping to win on the clinch and grappling front, but Pereira was ready for it and stood firmly on his feet. In the second round, he put Price down and landed on him in his usual manner, which caused a storm of applause from the audience. From that point on, Pereira proved that he was a very capable and dangerous grappler. Price, on the other hand, was no easy target and nearly performed a smashing leg lock. The last round started with a very brutal standoff, and both fighters became very tired. Right before it was all over, they looked like they could barely stand on their feet. Price won the third round, but the judges decided in Pereira's favor.
Michel Demolidor Pereira!
After winning 3 fights in a row, Michael Pereira faced Portuguese Andre Fallio, who had a record of 14-3. In this fight, Pereira made things difficult for Fallio with his kicks and was generally very aggressive. On the other hand, Fallio showed good timing and was good at defending himself. Despite being on his own, Pereira's punches were well placed and his multiple combos were on point. In the third round, Fallio's timing got worse and he couldn't keep up with the pace.
To Michel expanding that last round. Oh, look at that front kick again, and now a low kick as well.
But that's the thing, right? For as good as Andre is, it's all hands.
Yes, it's all
no
hands.
wrestling,
Right.
no kicking. He's got to really go back and add some kicks into his game, especially when you're training with a guy like Henry Hoof.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even checking these kicks. He's eating them, and you can see them all over his leg, particularly that left leg.
At the end of the fight, the two of them were punching one another with sheer ferocity, and after 15 minutes, Pereira was celebrating victory by an unanimous decision once again.
Cards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Michel Demolidor Pereira!
And that's it for this video on the incredible MMA fighter, Michael Pereira. From his early days in Brazilian Capoeira to his international success in the UFC, he has certainly made his mark on the sport. With his unique style and acrobatic maneuvers, he is sure to continue to amaze us in the future. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be the first to know when we upload new content. Until then, thank you for watching.